Music is the one thing that we all understand that we don't understand.
Music has tremendous driving power within the narrative of any film.
Bond. James Bond.
The visual is one thing. When you add music, it becomes something else.
It's a whole different experience.
The score is the heartbeat of the film.
You can make you feel anything we want you to feel.
Thomas Newman, his music is just so eloquent.
Hans Zimmer revolutionized what we do.
We have to go shake it up. We have to go and reinvent.
Proving yourself is a great force.
There is a chemical high.
Pirates. It's like Led Zeppelin, played by an orchestra.
Film music is the symphonic music of today.
How do you make the audience feel like they're coming home?
Your mind is connecting those dots.
Film music has changed fairly radically.
There's sort of a new renaissance going on.
It's so visceral.
It's incredibly powerful.
You can't say enough about how exciting that is.
That 70s era, that is absolutely the era of John Williams.
Without his music, Superman's powers are greatly diminished. Believe me, if you try to fly without that theme, you go nowhere. One step, two steps, and down.
Everyone knows the Superman theme, but the Krypton theme that comes right before it, that overture, it's mysterious, it's almost like avant-garde. That sets up this really tuneful double chorus melody, almost makes it, to me, 10 times more the piece. So it's his way of surrounding pieces with other pieces.
Most of the world, if you were to play the music from Jaws or Star Wars or Raiders of the Lost Ark, most folks would know exactly what that was.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you hear the melody without the rhythm, you can recognize it. Ba da 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 da. But if you just do the rhythm ta 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 with no melody, you recognize it either way.
A very simple little sequence of notes, but I spend more time on those little bits of musical grammar to get them just right so that they seem inevitable.
There's a hooky, tuneful, well-orchestrated theme, but I think that's only half of it.
There's always the bravura part of the John Williams composition, you know, the first 8, 16, 32 bars, you know, the great Raiders of the Lost Ark theme. And then comes the B part. It's less well known, but it's so beautifully crafted. And I always think that's the part he writes for himself.
I think he's as brilliant as people feel he is, and as popular as his music is, he's even better than that.
This is why he's a revolutionary. Hans took the string section and made them like a guitar. They're playing rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. And that's a really interesting thing. I don't think anybody had really done that.
Pirates. It's like Led Zeppelin, okay? It's like freaking Led Zeppelin,
played by an orchestra.
What Hans certainly, has done on Dark Knight is obviously blur this line between this giant symphonic sound and electronics, and you're not quite sure where one ends and the other begins.
The sort of light, repetitive string ostinatos, you hear that so often.
It's just all about this constant pulse going on.
Terribly powerful. Terribly exciting.
Hans Zimmer is he's a legend that's still becoming more legendary.
The end of Inception, it's like a new morning. When he gets home and he's going to be reunited with his family for real in reality, you're led in one direction like it's going to be okay. Hans Zimmer's score really washes over you in waves. And the music just piles it on. The camera pans down and you're left with a big question. You're like, wow, music adds quite a bit here.
What happened in 1978, 79? Somebody flipped on a synthesizer. When the synth came in, actually, punk also happened. And you have this incredible new extroverted musical intelligence going on. Danny Elfman. He was a performer. Tim Burton. One day he gets to make a movie. Who's he gonna have score it? Hey, how about his favorite band? Yeah, I love Oingo Boingo. Who's in Oingo Boingo? Who's really the principal songwriter? Who's really doing what oh, it's this guy Danny Elfman. Bingo bango.
I was starting to write weird but elaborate compositions. I wrote a thing called the Oingo Boingo Piano Concerto No. 1.5. Without having written that, I never would have taken Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Since he was a kid, more or less just a really curious person who's been amusing himself, At first it was, just the antics of Oingo Boingo and then the whole Tim Burton, Pee-wee.
There's nothing bland about Danny.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Danny is the composer who grabs you by the collar during the main title of a movie and says, I'm about to take you into a world, and here's what it's about.
Danny's biggest strength is, I think he comes up with the most amazing little short musical ideas that then become big musical ideas.
When he fully exploded with Batman, everyone's mind was blown.
Batman, it was like there was only one template, John Williams, and we didn't want to do that. Again, I had nothing to go on. There was no model of what kind of chords, how do you do a darker score that's still fun and has energy. And I realized what I tried to learn from Bernard Herrmann years earlier, which is there's only one rule. There are no rules.
He can broach the big orchestral world with the very uber contemporary world, and he does it really seamlessly. You can hear his sound, his personality,